Hello and welcome to the collapse experiment. Yes, I look very different now. Just getting over COVID, going back to work where I have to wear a mask at work for the next week. And I was not going to do that with a beard. Wearing a beard in the ER when my wife was there, that was a big enough pain in the ass. So yes, did cut it. And I will be growing it back. No big deal. So, this video, there's this situation going on in the internet with Tim Pool, who I was a fan of in the past. For a period of time, I was a paid subscriber on his website. But after a month or two, quickly realized that the content and the bonus material really wasn't worth having a subscription. So I canceled because the majority of the content that I did want is free on YouTube anyways, and he gets paid for that. So what the hell? So, recent revelations. Well, there's this Eliza Blue woman. Is she a woman? I don't know. Has that been confirmed? Yeah, so this chick, her entire life was broadcast and posted on the internet for the last 20 some years. So now she decides that she's going to take her lack of actual life experience and claim to be a survivor of extracurricular activities in the bedroom trafficking. Yes. This is how she decided to profit from basically being a hoe for show over the last 20 years. That's all confirmed. I'm not going to get into the details. Other people have done that. They've had their channels taken down, their Twitter accounts suspended, all this good stuff over a person that nobody really knew until like a couple weeks ago. This chick has tried to become famous for decades now. It hasn't happened, and the thing that she's most well known for at this moment is profiting off of the misery of people who have actually gone through what she claims to be. I keep hearing the word grifter. I'm not really familiar with all these new terms that you youngins are coming out with. Yeah, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like the word doesn't really fit to me, because this is the action of somebody who is truly a horrible human being. You don't get to lay claim to a title like that and make money from it. And here's the thing. Her past is kind of like Jeffrey Epstein's flight log, because she has never stated as to who it was that was doing this to her, even though she's there for justice and speaking up for people who have gone through it, yada, yada, yada. Turkeys have been through here. And then she's going after Andrew Tate by, again, not naming people who are making accusations. It's funny how the people who did stuff to her are being protected by her, and the people who things happened to, which if this actually went to court, they would have to go on the stand. I mean, there could be a written dissertation that would be used. However, that also means that they would still be named. Maybe not to the public, but they'd have to be named in court. So it's funny how all this anonymous bullshit is being used to label people like Tate as a villain. Meanwhile, the people who are making the accusations, kind of like a lot of the Me Too stuff, right? I mean, isn't this like Me Too 2.0 right now? Nobody's being named except for the people they want to go after. And you can't go after the people who are making the accusations because they're the victim. Yeah. Other things that have come out recently. Well, I never knew about this, but apparently Cassandra Fairbanks, who is the head of, I forget what her actual title is. I'm just going to say head of journalism over at Timcast. Former porn star. Yeah, I find that to be very interesting. So this has been confirmed. I confirmed it. It's not very difficult to do. A simple Google search of said name and a 4-letter word at the end of that will bring it up. There's only a whole list on IMDb of movies that she starred in. So yeah, this is the person who, for one, set up the 2 times that Eliza Blue was on Timcast. This is also the person that, for some reason, ever since Timcast got really big, like back in 2020, like she was immediately hired in. I remember Tim saying that was one of the first things he wanted to do when he hired journalists was she was going to be on the payroll. So I don't know what kind of benefits come with that, but I'm guessing she earned it. Does her husband know? Probably. Anyways, so yeah, that was the other recent breakthrough in the story. Cassandra Fairbanks, porn star extraordinaire. I'm assuming these videos are not very difficult to find. So yeah, that's one way to up your career. And then there was this interesting photo that I found. So yeah, I don't know what to make of this, but it's Cassandra Fairbanks with James Gordon Meek and the girl who broke the story on Anthony Weiner. So you have Cassandra Fairbanks, who's currently who was hanging out with a now person who's charged with trafficking child porn, a porn star, and another reporter who broke the story of Anthony Weiner whipping his wiener out on camera to underage girls. Do you see a pattern here? So I have a feeling that unless Timmy decides that he's going to change things and do so relatively quickly, he's up shit creek. I have a feeling they're going to start doing layoffs at Timcast. Revenue is going to start dropping. Because remember, the big push that he got was when he opened his website. He started posting extra content on there. He could pay a couple dollars a month to access it. And then all of a sudden, they got way more subscriptions than they thought they were going to. And that was the cash flow that he got to start doing a lot of these extra projects that he's been working on. And now, with the way he's treating his followers, you can kiss that money goodbye. And his policy is, well, if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. Well, at what point did did it become a good idea in his head to like just tell his audience to F off? So yes, Tim Pool, this has not been a good year for him. Let's recap. So he gets caught sleeping with one of his employees. There's a whole drama behind that. And, that is a huge no-no. Granted, I bet you in his mind, it's like we're both adults, blah, blah, blah. COVID's happening. Oh my God, it could be the end of the world, yada, yada, yada. But now he's dealing with the possibility of being sued by a former employee for sexual harassment on the workplace. Even though if it went down to eyewitness testimony, it's pretty obvious that who was really, really, really desiring Timmy's D. So, would that go anywhere? No. Would it cost a shit ton of money to fight it? Yes. Would he probably end up settling out of court? Yes. So yeah, Timmy's got some issues. And Timmy is not really doing all that well with, oh damn, what the heck? Yep, that's coyotes. So yeah, coyotes. Anyways, so he's dealing with that. And the thing that a lot of people can't figure out right now, and there's a lot of speculation as to what's happening, is why he is covering for this chick who, if he did any bit of journalism or background checks on these people before he just threw them on their show, he would have realized that she is a fraud. She would not have been on the show. She would not have made false statements by anonymous people about other persons who are currently behind bars. Isn't it illegal to make false statements against other people? It just seems to be one of those laws that just are not followed through on. It's weird. It's like this recent story where this high school kid was accused of, I think it was like sexual assault or something at school. And he goes through all this crap for a year. And at the end of the year, the girls finally admit that it was all fake. They just didn't like the guy. Yeah. And of course, nothing happens to them. Of course. Well, you have to understand, they're just girls. Girls are going to do what girls are going to do. And, it's bullshit policies like that that just need to go away. So, yeah. A lot of stuff is going on over at Timcast. I don't understand why this guy Shane is writing the article about Eliza. Apparently it went from a 2-piece article to like a 3-piece expose, which only tells me they're trying to milk this shit for as long as they can. The problem with it, well, for one, Shane is not a great writer. He's definitely not a good journalist. A lot of the shit that's in the article is just fluff. And then Eliza, she's stroking his ego, among other things, under the table, when it's revealed that he's going to write the piece about her, which is no good. I wouldn't be surprised if they were running it by her before they even publish it. Again, no good. This is not good journalism. So yeah, I did hear snippets of the first article through the quartering, and thankfully he skipped a lot of the BS that was in it, because I probably would have stopped watching his video if he actually did. I don't want to read it, for one, because it's probably going to be crap, and two, if somebody else is reading it, I would hope that they would skip through the BS. So anyways, yeah, it's just, as many people described it, it's just a fluff piece. There's nothing new in it. At least that's the first part. Unless there's a reveal towards the end that we're going to find out that not only was she an escort and she was involved in this whole traffic issue that she seems to want to be a part of. Unless it comes out at the end that, like, yeah, she was the first transgender extracurricular activity in the bedroom person of color. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's where they're kind of going with this, is they're going to have like some big reveal at the end where it's like, oh, I didn't know that about her. And it'll be like, she didn't know that about her. You're just making shit up. So, yeah, it's going to be, I have a feeling this article is going to be a great non-event. They're going to just try to say that she is who she says she is, even though all the evidence online, which they're still trying to erase, and thankfully a lot of people filed it on their computer before she got to it. Because keep in mind, she's going through right now and scrubbing a lot of stuff, and the Quartering already found a couple of her Instagram accounts from her modeling days. Oh yeah, so she's got a bunch of excuses for that too. So this is probably, we're viewing the end of an era. You know, what Timcast could have been. I think he's now finally putting the finishing nails into the coffin. Eventually, he's just going to crawl inside and close the lid, and Timcast is going to be done, because you know, there's only so much of this that he can continue to do, and not have things get worse than they already are. On a final note, I know a lot of people are saying that Tim doesn't have to say anything, that he should just continue to keep his mouth shut. But he wants to be another Joe Rogan, but he's not paying attention to Joe Rogan. Like, why is it nobody has been able to cancel Joe? Because he actually handles every situation fairly quickly and appropriately. Now, Joe had a situation where he had this dude on who did the bulletproof coffee bullshit a couple years ago. So this guy ends up on the show. Joe's really into keto at the time, and he's having this guy explain like how he came up with bulletproof coffee, how does it work, why do you use these ingredients, yada yada yada. And people were very quick to hear the interview and say, well, this is a bunch of bullshit, and there's no evidence here, there's no science behind it, what the hell. And you know what? They're right. And when all the feedback started to come in, Joe was like, you know what? They're right. So he actually made a statement on his show where he said, you know, I should have done a deeper background check on this guy. I didn't know that he was well known for kind of being a shyster and a fraud, and you know, I didn't look into the science of what he was saying because there is none, and that was that. He actually apologized to his audience for wasting their time, and it was the appropriate move. Tim just refuses to ever admit that he's wrong. He'd rather say absolutely nothing than say that he was wrong. So, and unfortunately, that I feel like is also an abuse to his fans, especially the people who pay for his content. And I'm sorry, but The only time he's ever admitted to being wrong about something on his show was articles other people wrote for Timcast where he's reading it. He didn't read it before it was published, and then he comes back and says, oh, this needs to be changed. Oh, this is unacceptable. Why is it worded like this? No, we don't say that. And that's it. It's only when he's ridiculing other people who've already written something that his name is attached to. And it's only because he didn't do it. Oh, I would have done it better. Bitch, you've never written an article in your life. What the hell, Timmy? Aside from running around with a cell phone and a camera, when did you ever write an article? Ever. I don't get it. You do these video pieces, you talk to people. Yes, this could be considered journalism. It is a form of journalism. But when it comes to actually writing articles, putting stories together, figuring out what the hell is going on, there's a difference between being the type of reporter who is standing around covering events as they happen and the people who have to put the stories together to find out what is really going on in the background. That is not Tim. Because if it was Tim, this shit would not be happening right now. That's about it for me. I'm done chasing deer around in the woods. So, keep on typing.